Yeah, I do.
You know.
You know what that was. But good morning. Welcome to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. I'm your brother John.
And this is Qiana.
And this program is being brought to you as part of the New Image Project, the Community Development and Training Center, aka See That?
See that? You got to put on your headset.
Okay. And we would like to thank y'all for tuning in, helping us to redefine what's cool because
Smart
is
the new
gangster.
baby,
And if you
baby.
don't know,
Now you know.
No. What's good, Q?
Nothing. It is Wednesday, hump day.
What's on your mind Wednesday?
It is. Okay, so what's on my mind?
Yeah.
The echo?
Yeah, that whole thing.
I don't know.
Okay. All right. I'll put these on and maybe we do something over there and we see what.
Is that a little bit better?
I can't hear me.
You know, this is what we
chat. Yeah, let's do some y'all help us with the production this morning. Hey Mom, good morning.
Yes.
We started, we got that phone call. It's y'all starting soon, but y'all ain't started yet.
Yeah, so let's get it together.
Get it together. Get it together, baby. What is that?
I don't know.
Yeah. This time.
It ain't me either.
You know, I be doing stuff, but this time it wouldn't be for real. Nonetheless, we here. It's what's on your mind Wednesday. Maybe that helped. Did that work?
Did that work?
I don't know. What up, though, y'all?
I don't know. That sounds a little bit better.
Can you hear me pretty good? We'll work on it after the
break. Yeah, we will.
And we weren't on the radio. So Don J, if you listening, man, we was not on the radio, but we on the app, 99jamsthebird.com. You can listen live there. And we also on Facebook. So yeah, we having a little bit of a technical thing this morning. Yeah, okay. Whatever that was, that did something.
That feels a little bit better.
That feels a little bit better. In this left ear over here. Right. Yeah. All right.
Go ahead. How you doing while I'm working over?
I'm not doing too bad. Just gotta get some stuff done.
Okay.
Production is the basis for morale. And so when it feels a little heavy and it's not moving the way that it should be moving,
it makes it move slower.
It just makes it feel heavier. Did that work? Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out why we getting that inside feedback.
Try that now.
Okay, we'll call Don J.
Oh, you know what? See if that works. Nope.
Yeah, we'll call Don J on the.
Hello. Nope.
Okay. So yeah, just got to get some stuff done. That's really it. Just work. The work won't do itself, as Mr.
It doesn't do itself, but don't you wish that it did?
I do, and I think that's what I'm exploring. I'm looking at like how I can leverage AI to help take some of this stuff off my plate.
I need an AI training.
Okay, there's several that's available.
Right, I know, but I really, really need one. Mm-hmm. I know how helpful AI is, but I'm one of the people who like don't really know that much about AI.
I'm learning about it, productivity tool, because it's a lot that it can do, and I mean people are using it for all kind of things. I mean, you see the videos, you see the.
It's a cheat sheet.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
So here we go with the AI. Is it okay? So it's a cheat sheet, but I'm trying to see, is it gonna make people more like dumb?
I don't know. I guess it's all in how you use it.
Because you don't have to really use your brain. Like
I think it'll make you lazy.
But this is
it definitely can make you lazy.
It makes you lazy, and I think it makes you dumb. Okay. The more you use it, because it's just like you have the internet, like people have their phones, and you look at like the kids don't understand comprehension. They can answer all the questions because they can ask Google, Siri, or whoever, or AI, and they're going to generate an answer for them. And so now they don't even really understand what they're saying because something is thinking for them.
I see that. It definitely, like I said, it's dangerous. It
could be definitely a hindrance.
Yeah,
like a help.
Like if you're not thinking about the things first, and if you're not thinking about your answers. Like, for example, like you have an idea or a question and you don't even think about the answer to the question. You just automatically go to Google or automatically go to AI. I think that could be a part of the dumbing down. But if you actually take time to think about it, come up with an answer, and then check your answer, right? Like you use it to see if you was right.
So, okay, take our generation.
Okay.
We kind of use it to make sure that we're right.
Yeah.
Because our curriculum was a little bit different. Like we didn't have like we had the first computers, we had the first cell phones.
Yeah. True.
And so you look at like we really had to learn, like our cheating was Cliff Notes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we still had to read the Cliff Notes. Right? Like you still that was
like when you was writing it on your arm to cheat, you was actually learning it.
Right. There was things or on your pencil. Like I remember like my cheat was like ABC on the pencil and like turn it around.
Okay.
And if you were savvy, you put the answers, like if you could wear a hat, put the answers at the bottom, at the top of your hat. Like,
y'all was good. Yeah, I wish I was know that.
But see, this takes creativity and it takes thought, right?
Yeah.
To how to do this. Now you just have the phone. Like, what kind of creativity and thought do you have into doing this? So then you don't have strategic planning, right? Because
you got to strategically plan.
Right, you got to do this so you don't know conflict resolution.
Yeah,
because you cannot figure out how to get yourself out of anything, because not only does Siri, Google, AI give you all your answers. Then when you feel like you're being bullied, your parents run in, they remove you from the classroom.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. And then you don't deal with any problems yourself and know how to solve them.
Yeah. Wow.
That was my
rant. You just did a whole What's on Your Mind Wednesday. No, I hear that. It was a lot in what you said that was kind of coming up for me. So when you talked about the idea, so for me, that was a part of the reason why I studied and I just did what I had to do, because for me, a lot of times cheating was harder. Like to prep the cheat, the energy. Right, so it's like, you know what? It's easier for me to just read the book and just do the thing.
If you know, anytime you're cutting corners, it's easier just to do it right the first time.
Yeah, that's
because
like people who go to work and spend all day trying not to work. Like that's the longest day ever.
Because then you got double work. And so this goes back to what you said in the production. Yeah. When you push stuff back, you still have
harder,
because you got double the work to do.
Yeah, and it's still like on you to do it.
It doesn't leave.
Yeah, I mean, I never really was into skipping class. Like I would skip school, but I wouldn't skip class. Because like, why would you go to school and then not go to class? And while you're not in class, you running around the hallway trying to not get caught. And that was just too much work, too much energy. I was like, you know what, if I don't really want to be here today, I just won't come at all. Like I wouldn't skip class in school. Like I would leave school.
Like, so to skip class or school, it really has to be a reason. Like I didn't do, like there was, so I really wasn't a skipper. So that wasn't my thing. But when I think about it, I didn't have like the assignment done.
Okay.
Or something like that.
That's when you didn't want to go.
That's when you didn't like just to skip, just to hey, I did
I'm just skipping the day. Right.
That didn't make any sense to me.
We're gonna have fun. We're gonna not go to class today. Yeah, that wasn't my thing. But okay.
When you
have an assignment that's not
you done, see the people who skip just to have fun, they're still skipping right now.
Right. They still skipping. They never go back to class. It was too much work. So it's like avoiding work is harder than actually doing the job in most cases.
The question is, if you just hopped on, good morning, Miss Teresa, good morning, Tiffany, good morning, Mama Blue, we're talking about like AI, the computers, and like, even though does
it make you lazy, or does it dumb down the population?
I definitely dumb that, because if you listen to talk to the kids, like there's some and I mean they sound, but then you really give them a problem, they don't know how to solve it.
It's true. Yeah.
Not all, because we don't subscribe to all here. So there's always, but when you look at it, they really do
like
not.
Critical thinking, solving problems, all of that stuff is
out the window.
Ooh. So I'm glad you said that. STEM Saturday this past weekend was a great opportunity for people, particularly young people, to be able to get that hands on. And it was just phenomenal in how just to watch, Mr. and Mrs. Robinson, how they work, with the youth. and how he just engages them, hooks them in.
He's so amazing.
He is like phenomenal. I'm like,
and I'm not just saying that. I'm not saying that because but he really is.
He is, and I saw him. You know, I've seen him in action before, but just to watch him in a new unit of time, seeing how he, just jump in.
He come from good stock. Though.
Yeah,
he come from really and good
like
stock.
How he just take control of their attention, because with children ages 5 to 15. Mm-hmm. Their attention is all over the place, and to see how he was able to capture their attention, hold it, and then direct their attention towards what he was trying to get them to was phenomenal. I'm like, wow, this is.
It takes a niche. Yeah. It definitely takes a niche.
He needs to teach that. Like if he can teach that, because again, that's what the whole challenge I think with the information age and with computers is attention. Like that's what everybody's competing for. They're competing for your attention. They're competing for your eyeballs. For you to be able to scroll and look up, and for him to be able to grab their attention and then direct it into how to frame a house. There was a brother. Shout out to Adrian Terry from Terry Homes, and he brought in like the saw. He had the wood, and he literally framed the house and had them doing the math. And he was like, okay, well, this is 8 feet. How many inches is 8 feet?
Right.
How many, inches apart does it? And they was like popping, man. And just to see them engage, like,
and that's what
you missed something amazing.
I wish I could have been there. I wish I could have been there. It was
definitely amazing. Tiffany says AI can make you lazy, but it's a game changer in the working world. It's a great time saver on helping you write more professional sounding emails and more. Absolutely.
I totally agree. Yeah. So that's the part, but I say back to our generation is that we're checking our work and
you don't just trust what it says.
We don't trust what it says.
When it says that this may make mistakes, like we actually
because we haven't like, and you're right. So
and here's the thing, Tiffany, when we say it can make you lazy, it's a game changer. I had to stop myself, right? Because there was emails that because I use it, to help draft emails too. And it was an email that I normally would have just sent, but then I'm going to AI and I'm like, I don't got to go to AI to this. I can write this email myself.
It's just easier to say, hey,
it's like, okay, wait a minute. Let me.
And see, and I've heard like how easy it is. Like you can say, hey, this is what I wanted to do. Can you write me something? But I want it to be so that at an 8th grade reading level.
Yep, you can do that. And so that's how I've done it. Like I do use it to edit. Or like, so I'll write something and I'll say edit it or make it shorter, use less words because I'm trying to do that, like practicing, because I'm realizing that a lot of times we use more words than
So while we're talking about AI, so I never saw Megan, the movie.
The first one.
Okay. But, since I go to the movies every week, I definitely want to see Megan 2.0, right? So now,
I need to see one in order to get the premise.
So right. So Megan, she was an AI doll.
Same, Tiffany. Yeah. Okay. So she's an AI doll. She says I use it to edit or polish my own words.
See there.
Same thing. Yeah, I use it that way too.
So Megan is like an AI doll, and she went rogue.
Okay.
She kind of flipped the script on them, and
on her
she went Chucky. Yeah, she kind of went Chucky.
I got
that was the premises.
Okay,
but Megan 2.0 seems so funny.
Okay,
that I really want to see it
from the clips.
From the clips.
Wow.
So now I gotta go see Megan
2.0.
Yeah, but I got to see the original Megan so that I'm caught up.
That's how I am too.
Because she was like in the preview, she was like, "Yeah, I know I tried to kill you and burn down your thing, but I won't do it this time."
That's so cute, Megan. Yeah. Well, thank you. You're so kind.
And she was like, "Don't touch what's the name, but you could kill the person." And she was like, "Hey." So I want to see it. So we was just talking about AI. So
okay. So AI, Megan 2.0. Qiana's going to see it, give us a review, and let us know how it works.
I went to see Bride Hard yesterday.
Okay, let's talk about it after the break. It's 8:00. We're going to take a break, and then we'll come back 6-7 minutes after that. We're going to talk about movies. It's What's on Your Mind Wednesday. So
the gala. We got a lot of stuff. Ask Qiana. We got
Friday
Trump.
Right. Yeah, Trump, this ninja that lost his mind. But yeah, we'll talk about all of that after the break. So y'all stick around. We'll be right back.
someday we'll touch the sky. You're an angel. Look up, baby. Wipe all your tears away. I know it's been crazy, but keep your head up high.
Foot chase through the projects, dodging foreign objects. Street knowledge, I should've went to college. Odds stacked against me, surviving off instinct. 3 blocks from the precinct. Lil' homie caught a case, others lost family members. Product of his environment, projects produce violence in the middle of the streets, cause that's how we eat. Just a rap about the trap don't mean I ain't about peace.
We must stand together, all together as one. United we must stand together, fighting for each other till our race is done. United we must stand together, under God we are one. We must fly to the sun every day, fight for peace, not destroying our dreams.
Peace in the streets, love to my brothers, love to my sisters. We all need each other. Children need their mothers and they need their dads. Taking a life that don't make you bad. The fact that you do that is so sad. Pocket watching, plotting on another man's cash. Pick up a book instead of picking up a gun. Increase your knowledge and that'll increase your funds. If everyone succeeds, then crime would decrease and people would live instead of resting in peace. Unity, that's what we need. Stand up and be a positive force in the community.
We are one, we must fly to the sun every day, fight for peace, not destroying our dreams. We must stand together,
Must stand together.
all together as one.
As one people.
United we must
United,
stand
we
together,
shall rise.
fighting for
And you fight for me
till our race is
till we
done.
see God.
United we must
United,
stand
we will rise.
together.
Clap with me.
Under
Clap.
God, we
Clap.
are
Yes,
one.
sir.
We must
Clap.
fly to the
Clap.
sun.
G-Beat on the
Every
track,
day,
man, and I
fight
mean
for
this is from the
peace,
heart.
not destroying
Back and
our
forth to
dreams.
prison, cause my position in the ghetto is wishing. My dreams was in my hand, man, instead of so distant. Violent crimes on my record, showing judges I'm reckless. Yes, they think I'm rich and young, like Young and the Restless. Every time I see a young brother rich in peace, got to be the only time when I watch TV. Cause the struggling and suffering is all I see. Besides muscling and hustling at war with heat, I point the finger at the devil, boy, for taking my peace. Cause the only way to live is to take to the streets. But they rate me as a villain for the killing and dealing. For what? My last resort to make me a living. I don't give a damn, tell them so what. I'm gonna survive even if they threaten me with life. The arms of poverty held tight, making life a fight. But in the sky, we got to unite. Keep your head in the sky.
We must stand together, all together as one. United we must stand together, fighting for each other till our race is done. United we must stand together. Under God we are one. We must fly to the sun every day, fight for peace, not destroying our dreams. We must stand together, all together as one. United we must stand together.
York State Representative.
The dimension of imagination. It is an area which we call the twilight.
We must stand together, all together as one. United we must stand together.
You're an angel. Look up, baby. Wipe all your tears away. I know it's been crazy, but keep your head up high.
Foot chase through the projects, dodging foreign objects. Street knowledge, I should've went to college. Odds stacked against me, surviving off instinct. 3 blocks from the precinct. Lil' homie caught a case, others lost family members. Product of his environment, projects produce violence in the middle of the streets, cause that's how we eat. Just a rap about the trap don't mean I ain't about peace.
We must stand together, all together.
Officers standing in line with ICE agents during a recent raid.
Okay, guess what, y'all?
We back.
We're back.
And we ain't going nowhere. And we want to welcome y'all back. Welcome to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. I'm your brother, John.
And this is Qiana.
And this program is being brought to you as part of the New Image Project of the Community Development and Training Center, a.k.a. See That?
See that?
And we would like to thank y'all for tuning in, helping us to redefine what's cool, because smart is
the new
gangsta.
baby.
And if you don't know, now you know.
Now you know. I don't know. This echo is, it left and then it kind of, you know what? I think does it sound a little bit better?
It's sound kind of the same, but I'm all right with it over here.
Okay.
I just kind of blocked it out and kept going. I ain't letting it get to me, because that's one of them things today. I ain't letting it get to me. It's what's on your mind Wednesday too, y'all. So y'all feel free to give us a call. Let us know what's on your mind, what you're thinking about, what's going on with you, what's happening, what's top of mind. So I do have a would you rather.
Would you rather what?
Would you rather? I don't know if we did this one. I know we talked about it, but we may not have asked the question. So we're gonna ask. Would you rather get a 5% raise every year with your current job, or switch to a new job every 3 years with a 20% bump each time? Did we do that one?
No, we didn't. We talked about it.
Okay.
We did something similar.
Okay, gotcha.
We did the $1 million or the 20 mil, something like that.
Yeah, $1,000 a week or $1 million one time or something like that.
Something like that.
Okay. So let us know would you rather? Would you rather get a 5% raise every year with your current job, or switch to a new job every 3 years with a 20% bump, pay bump each time? At this stage, what I want to do?
I am jumping.
Okay. Jumping for the 20.
And you know why I'm jumping?
Tell me.
To be honest, because the new experience, the things that you grab from these new companies,
okay,
is good. And then where it used to be beneficial for you to stay with your company, it's no longer beneficial.
Okay.
Because you can, like you say, you get the 5%. What was it?
You get a 5% raise every year.
Right. But then you think about it, somebody else comes in and may get that 20%.
Oh, because they decided to take the 3 year to jump every 3 years.
But if you look at where companies at, like when you're with the company, you start at this rate, and then over years where you're at, somebody else come in at that same rate.
Okay.
And so like
that was one of the complaints with the Fight for 15. Like, oh, we've been doing this forever. We making 12 and somebody new going to make 15.
Right. So
yeah. Wow. No, it did get loud. So I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take the 20%.
I'm popping.
I'm taking the 20% bump, because you think if it's 5% every year, that's 15 in 3 years. Give me the 20, and I'll take a new job. I'm all right with that. That feels all right to me. How we sounding out there, y'all? Put it in the chat. Good morning, Mr. Edmond. Help us with some off-air production, man. Let us know. Do we sound good? Can you hear us all right?
You be doing
the 20% every 3 years.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm taking it. I'll take the 20, man. And you,
hello?
You're right. You're right. The jobs these days. Okay, that sounds good. I appreciate that. It's just annoying in here.
Yeah.
But Mr. Edmond, what you doing, man? You taking the 20% every 3 years, or you taking the 5% every year with your current? Let us know. Y'all put it in the chat. But yeah, these jobs not lasting as long as they did. I was actually talking to somebody yesterday, and he was just talking about how he's been trying to find a job for like 8-9 months, man, and just can't seem to find work. And this is in the social services industry. And so one of the conversations was about how with all of these cuts and everything that's being done at the federal level, is putting a lot of social service workers in, the unemployment line.
Mm-hmm.
And so now, you competing for jobs with people who might have been on their job, had a good government job for years, but now they have lost their job all of a sudden as a part of these, them 600 cuts, 300 here, 400 there. And then when they cut funding to these different organizations, it's causing people to be out of work. So we were in a scenario planning session yesterday, as a matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the conversation that we were having. This particular organization, the budget is 80%, federal funds. And the new budget comes out in October. We have no idea right now how much money we're going to be getting. And so it's like, okay, there's 10 staff. How do we prepare for an 80% reduction in your budget? Like, that's a real conversation. I was just
when you take yesterday. And then now you're trying to be creative.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out how to get this money.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That's just good. That's got you. That thing got your attention.
It does got my attention because I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
But oh well.
Yeah. No, I hear that. But yeah. So it's just like, again, if you're in a situation where 80% of your budget is being cut, and you got 10 employees, what do you do? How do you navigate that? And
now you got 2 employees.
Yeah. How do you cut
and
costs
you need,
in the meantime? You know what I'm saying? And what the things you're doing right now, it was heavy. It was.
So now heavy. Now it's strategic planning, right?
Which is the session that we
right. So now you're looking at the grants that you need to apply for.
Yeah.
And the other opportunities, and then, whew.
Yeah. And it's not a whole lot of other opportunities out there. So y'all just make sure that y'all be mindful that, like Ms. Teresa, she said she's a fan of longevity. And so when it comes to, what you would do, whether you would take the 20% every 3 or 5 every year, she said, I'm a fan of longevity, especially at my age. Now, however, the economy has me leaning more towards the 20% pay bump.
Okay. Oh, that was Tiffany.
Oh, Tiffany. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I see that. Yeah. I'm a fan of longevity too.
Me too.
These companies ain't loyal.
They're not.
These companies ain't loyal.
No, I like if you found companies that treat their employees right and value your
your time, your talent, and
right.
your contribution. Yeah.
Then that's different. But like you get sick, you can't call off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, here's the thing. That was a part of the conversation yesterday. Was like the cost for benefits. Like, when you're doing the budget, fringe benefits is one of the, line items. And it's like $100,000 a year in fringe benefits.
Yeah.
So it's like, do you take, the employees and make them all contractors? So now you're saving maybe $50,000 a year on payroll taxes. And you're also going to save $100,000 a year in fringe benefits. But then now you got workers that don't have insurance, that don't have.
That's not right.
And so it's like, but what do you do? Is it, do you look out for the 3 employees that's taking advantage of the benefits? Because out of the 10, only 3 taking advantage, which is part of the reason why it's costing so much.
Right, because everybody's not doing it.
Everybody's not in it. So you got a smaller group, you're going to pay higher premiums, right? Mm-hmm. And so now it's like, okay, do you take them off of the benefits package? You get to keep your job, but you don't have benefits.
I mean, it's a hard job being the boss.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to make tough decisions. But then I can see why you would take those benefits away. If
what you just said got me, it is explaining why I'm feeling like I'm feeling. Remember that conversation?
Yeah.
It's like it's been kind of rough.
Because then the benefits actually, if 50% of your company is not using the benefit, then
it's more like 70. Yeah, 70% not taking it.
That's more than 50%.
Yeah.
So,
but you're making it available. But here's the other part of it: the benefits. Also in the nonprofit space help offset the pay, because a lot of times you don't get paid that good. So if I'm not really getting paid what I could get in other industries, the benefits help balance that pay.
But if you're paying $150,000 for the benefits that everybody's not using,
yeah,
you could take that and give them the pay.
Yeah, that was part of the conversation.
So if only 3 people out of 70% of the 30% of the people are using it.
Notes. We still sending ideas. So
no, so here we go.
What you do, y'all? If you had 80%, you got 80% of your budget is federal funds, and you don't know if those funds will be renewed, and you got 10 employees. How you handle it?
So I will tell you the 10 employees. So if only 3 of them using the benefits, I'm sorry, we're gonna have to cut it.
Okay.
But then I can give you higher salaries.
Okay.
Because I'm saving this, maybe not much higher because we're still losing a significant amount of money.
Mm-hmm. And then here's the other part of that too, Qiana, is that's only going to get you maybe to the end of the year because there is no new funding coming. So how do you generate,
Well, you can't cut your benefits right now in the middle of the year.
Yeah.
They have to stay until November. So when November comes around, that's when you say, hey, moving forward. And you could it's a small company. So I mean, with 10 employees, it's small. So you can say, hey, listen, we're gonna have to cut benefits because people are not utilizing them.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. It's tough. Again, and if we're making this decision, I'm sure it's other companies and other organizations. So when you see the big beautiful bill or the big ugly bill, depending on what side of it you're on, these are some of the day-to-day impacts of that is happening on people. I got a thing from Kathy Castor. Shout out to Congresswoman Kathy Castor. I got her update, and in her update, she was talking about the big beautiful bill.
Okay.
And what some of those Tampa Bay area impacts are and will be. And so let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
All right. So she said, this was the June 6th update. So I don't know what's happened in Congress since then, and where they are with this thing, but this is what she was talking about with some of the proposals. And so it's the GOP tax and spending package. There'll be a health coverage loss. The bill would leave 16 million Americans without health insurance. This hits especially hard in Florida, where over 4.6 million people use the ACA marketplace and where healthcare jobs are a major part of the economy, including hospitals, clinics, and home health care agencies. The bill would also explode the national debt. It's going to add $2.4 trillion to the national debt, putting pressure on future local spending for things like affordable housing, hurricane recovery, and city infrastructure. There's SNAP cuts. You probably heard about these, right? SNAP benefits. Cuts will remove nutrition support for 3 million Americans, including children, seniors, veterans, and working parents in St. Pete who rely on SNAP. The local impact on the economy, they said less SNAP spending means less money going to local grocers, farmers markets, and food programs that are run by the community and those in the community. There's also deep racial disparities, so SNAP cuts disproportionately impact Black and Latino families.
Pull your mic up for me.
Particularly those in historically marginalized neighborhoods in the city. And so what you thinking? SNAP cuts. You know anybody who would be impacted by that?
Probably.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm jealous anyway. Nah.
Tell me about that part, right?
But no, I mean, I do believe like there's some people who really need this, right?
Yeah.
I do think that there should be something that's set up that like to help you wean yourself off of it.
Okay. It should be like a perpetual thing. But what if but poverty is perpetual?
It is, but some people
and it hug tight.
It does. So there's I don't have the answers for what that look like because some people need it constantly. Like they will never, you know what I mean? But there's some people who depend on it and can do more, but choose not to.
It disincentivizes you to level up. Because I guess one of the comparisons that I always see is like, okay, you have to be here to qualify. But if you work and you here, you don't qualify, but you still don't make enough to really do what you need to do.
It does. So it's not a benefit at that point for you to level up, because once you start to, because
you gotta like level up here where you can actually still afford.
But see, the thing is this is why you need steps with it, is because like right here, you should still qualify, but not as much.
Okay.
Until you get up here. Because once you get up here, now I can't afford the food, even though I'm making more money.
Mm-hmm.
I still have rent, gas, insurance, everything else. And so taking that food budget, adding that food budget in there actually puts me in a deficit of where I'm at, because food is expensive.
And you're not getting a 5% bump every year. You probably getting maybe a 2 or 3%.
If you get one.
Yeah, if you get a bump, it's not 5%.
No, it's definitely 3%. Not. Yeah, everybody's not getting that 5%.
And that's when you see what we call Alice families. That's asset limited, income constrained, and employed people. So it's basically you working every day, but you still like.
So this is what I'll tell you, because y'all know what it is. Y'all need to reevaluate your relationship, and this is where partnership comes in. Like society tells us that we need to be strong by ourselves and handle everything else. No, this is real. This is real ish. Like, you supposed to be the single person, handle it. No, but two people can make stuff happen.
Yeah. We're stronger together. Like
we are.
There's no doubt about that.
But we have a society that tells us that,
do it on your own.
Do it on your own. Do this, do that. But you definitely, and this economy, it died. With this economy, you need multiple forms of income, sources of income coming in.
Right. Oh yeah, you absolutely do. Okay. No, that's something else.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I was totally distracted.
Oh, you had to be.
That's what happened when I get my.
Put your computer down and put your phone down.
Well, I was trying to find my notes on.
Because you.
But then I went to somewhere else totally. I'm sorry. Remember, I started off by saying there's a competition for our attention, and that's what happened. That's what happened. You put up your phone. As soon as I pulled up my phone, the competition won. Yeah. Let me see. And then it's so small.
So did you see the thing about alligator Alcatraz?
No.
So they want to put a holding cell basically for all the people that ISIS is picking up.
Okay.
And Alligator Alley. So there is a landing strip that it was supposed to be like the biggest.
You talking about like Florida, down Everglades?
Yes.
Okay. Going to Miami, Alligator Alley.
Yes, yes, and hold them there because they can't get off of this piece of land because they're surrounded by
swamp
and alligators.
Are you serious?
Yes.
This is a real proposal that somebody's made. Like, they think that was a good idea.
Yes.
Put them in the middle of the swamp.
Yes.
Wow.
Because this is a piece of land that's not being used, and originally it was supposed to be built like to be the largest airport in the world. So it is.
So they started some of the infrastructure or something?
It's something down there.
Oh, wow.
But that's where they want to hold people at right now.
Who's making money from that? Because that's another
the government.
Yeah, that's another part of the gag. So another part of this, I have it here queued. Another part of this big ugly bill is they're saying that the child tax credit will be rolled back. So the bill would slash expanded child tax credits from $3,600 per child to just $1,000 per child. So you know how people be buying children. I'm sorry, I ain't supposed to say that. But how you claim your dependents and you getting $3,600 per child, that's going to be a third of what it is. More than a third. It's going to be just $1,000 per child.
I ain't had a child in a long time I was able to collect from. So I mean,
but this directly hurts working families who are raising children. The bill also has.
So I will tell you this. So families who depend on your income tax. This is now you need to change your the way that you think and the way
strategy.
You have to do that. And so what I would tell you is that now, because you're never going to get back everything that you pay in taxes.
Okay.
Now you really need to talk to a professional and see how many, like where you fall at in this tax bracket and how much you need to take out of your check so that you don't owe.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because
and that would be the ideal scene, just to not owe and get.
And so you'll get more money
okay.
throughout the year.
Yeah.
And kind of put that up.
That's how my tax advisor a few years back helped soften the blow for me, because I'm like, why everybody getting all this money and I don't get nothing? He was like, well, you get yours throughout the year. I'm like, but it don't feel as good as, you know,
because it's like a savings.
Getting,
like you
getting a big check.
But just think, when you add it up and what you gotten over the year,
okay,
compared to what you get on income tax, there's no comparison.
But it still feels different.
It feels different because you get a one big lump sum. Yeah. But just think, if you're getting an extra $400 on your paycheck.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's
feel that. Yeah.
So you get an extra $400, and let's say most
like
people
4,000 plus a few. Yeah. So it's like
So you're really, you know.
So that okay, I hear that. So you just get it back in monthly increments,
right? And then, but we're not managing properly.
Yeah, I hear that. So shout out to WealthCare. Royce is going to start doing something to let us know how you can manage, and send in some tips, because that's where we at right now. Like really understanding that a lot of these benefits, SNAP benefits, child tax credit, a lot of those lump sum things, or those things that help to supplement your income, will be going away. And so WealthCare and wealth management, financial literacy.
So has it already passed, or it is?
I think it's moving through Congress now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's moving through Congress, and if it passes, I think a lot of these provisions may take effect October 1st when the federal budget comes. There's a rollback from federal housing investments that undermine local efforts, like the City's Affordable Housing Solutions Task Force, because they're attacking. They're providing less federal funding, meaning fewer resources to combat housing insecurity. The city's already struggling with gentrification and skyrocketing rents, and so those.
But you see, I will tell you, I've been riding around. Rent is going down.
Yeah,
it is, because ain't nobody renting your, like
people leaving.
And so here we go. Yeah. They didn't think about this. People do have to leave, because we had a lot of people up north who had federal government jobs. Right. And you can work from home. But when Trump got in, you now have to come in the office. Okay. So now you have to go back to where you I didn't
think about that.
Yeah, so you got to think about
you done moved the whole state away, and now he's saying come to the office.
You have to come to the office. Yeah. Not that it's optional.
They got federal offices here though that they can go to, right?
No, because if you work in DC, and you were working from home, your station is DC.
You can't make me move back though to come to.
Well, then
do I got to fly to the office 2 times?
You no longer. They no longer have the work at home position.
Okay, so they just got rid of the job.
Yeah,
but you're here now. So now you moved here. You've been here 3 years. Let's say if you moved 5 years during COVID. Right. You came during COVID or right after. So 4 to 5 years. You're here now. They eliminate your good federal job.
They didn't eliminate.
Or they eliminated your work from home.
That's what ability. They did. So now you have to.
But that's your job.
But
or do you have to move back in order to keep your job?
You got to move back.
Or do you be like, I'm settled in Florida for the last 5 years? So then
you quit your job, and now you're back in the workforce.
Yeah,
trying to find another job.
Okay, I hear
so
that.
Like, there's no, this ain't no negotiation. Hey, first of all, I hired you in New York.
Okay.
To work at home for a New York city,
Yeah, but home, they didn't like geographically say that home has to be within this area. Home is where
some companies do, but usually it's not. Like, you can work from wherever, and a lot of companies eliminated their work at home programs.
Right.
We still have a few out there, but a lot of it in the federal government, that was one of the first things he did, is that you have to come into the office.
Come back into the office, yeah.
So
and then was giving ultimatums and making people do it. We're talking about the big ugly bill and just some of these cuts that's happening, y'all, and what the impact of those will be on those of us here in Florida. Also with FEMA, they said FEMA and the NOAA, their funding is being cut. So St. Pete would have fewer resources for climate resiliency and disaster recovery, local flood-prone areas like Shore Acres and other parts of South St. Pete, especially vulnerable areas that will be impacted by sea level rise and more intense storms. Like, funding for that is absolutely going to.
So then what you're doing is eliminating home ownership with that as well, because if you know that there's not going to be any relief, you see that you can't almost get insurance for your housing.
Yeah.
Right. Because you're in those areas. So those beautiful areas that people strive and work really hard to go get because of the views and everything else, and you pay those high prices, you no longer can afford it. Because like you can't get housing. I mean, you can't get homeowner insurance to cover it. Because and then now FEMA is not going to help you with it. And so if you don't have the money, what do you do?
Yeah, and I'm saying.
So now you have to move into these apartments because you got to sell your house, but nobody wants to buy your house.
Because it's in an area that you got to elevate it 12 feet in order for it to be able to.
So then secure. What happened is the rich stay richer because who's buying your housing? Because a regular Joe Smo can't go buy it. So a corporation is now buying the housing. So the rich stay richer.
Wow. All right, that's kind of heavy. It's heavy. Like, you want to talk about Trump a little bit? I mean that because I'm seeing that, right, and it's so heavy because I've taken these tours and I've seen people who homes have been flooded, you know, during the storms. I've seen homes that have been gutted down to the studs. I probably talked about it one time before, but it's an older woman. She's been in her home, I think she said 38 years, right? The storm basically flooded her house. It's gutted down to the studs, and she's working, like she's in an apartment, so she's renting an apartment. Her house is paid off, thank God. But she's trying to figure out how to finish getting the repairs done on her house. And it's hurricane season, and nothing has changed. So if we get another hurricane comparable to what we had, all of the stuff that she's doing to improve her house and get her house back online is going to be for naught because she's going to have to do it again. And so, like, just the stress of that, number one, not being in your house for 8 months, 9 months, right? We went back to the house and she had everybody in tears because she was just like
so this is at the community, you know when I'm looking at the ways that we can be creative, right? To figure out how we save our community. Yeah. Like save our short acres, save all the neighborhoods that how do we figure out? And this is the conversation that we have about those 86 acres. Okay. Right. How do we make it that is revenue generating for the people who pay taxes so that they get some relief from this? Like we own the land and the city end up cutting checks to your residents here because it's possible.
It sounds like reparations.
However, but it's possible that we can be creative and figure out ways. How do we keep our city beautiful?
Right. And also revenue generating.
Right. Yeah. For the people that pay the taxes here who lives here and they don't have to leave.
Yeah. Because that's another one.
Because we have 86 acres there that we could say that everybody who pays taxes has like proper, I can't even say, it won't come out right now. Okay. Sharing.
Profit sharing.
There we go. Okay. It won't come out. Like
profit sharing.
Yeah, it won't come out for some reason.
Okay.
You know, but these are really like you got to sit down and really think about it and be creative. But these are things that are possible. Like the things that you said never happened before. We have the possibility of making it happen.
Yeah, we have to, because if the problem is a problem that has never happened before, then the solution can't be a solution that you've always done. Like you got to have a new solution for a new problem. Like you applying old solutions to new problems, and then you wondering why they're not working. And a lot of times these old solutions end up causing more problems than they solve.
And then let's say on the flip side, there's always somebody that's beating the system. Yeah. Right. The person who beating,
it's designed that way.
But the people who are beating the system is hurting the people that really do need it. And that's your neighbor. That's your neighbor. And you don't realize that. Like you took a piece of what they needed for your greed.
Yeah. And see, when I hear beating the system, I'm not thinking about, you know, the brother or sister who got maybe $5,000 or $10,000 extra that they probably shouldn't have gotten. I'm thinking about like these billionaires and millionaires who like, and you know, I want to be a millionaire too. So I'm not demonizing millionaires. But what I'm saying is there's a class of people who, when we think about beating the system, we thinking about $5,000 or $10,000,
and that's nothing,
or a $3,500 check. that's not the
thinking
system
of the Rick
that I'm
Scott
talking about.
who took Medicaid and got billions of dollars and did the biggest fraud ever. And then what you do is you look at the little man and you be like, they might have got like 50 cents over.
And you make them the face of beating the system.
No,
like now, oh, see, this is the face of fraud and
then but you have these big corporations who's really beating the system, and nobody is like
this guy. What was the guy? He took $100 million or something from one of these charities or something like that. I saw that in the news.
You seen what Brett Favre? Remember the fall of Brett Favre?
I remember.
And him and they did all this other stuff, and they was taking all this money, but nobody was monitoring and anything. But then when they did this charity and somebody started to look into it, he made somebody mad.
He did.
I don't know who you made mad, really but you made somebody mad.
Yeah. Speaking of scammers, did you know that scammers have stolen over $1 trillion in the last year alone? So a new global state of scams report came out by the Global Anti-Scam Alliance. There's actually a Global Anti-Scam Alliance. And it reveals that scammers defrauded individuals of a staggering $1.03 trillion globally over the last year, up from 1.026 trillion the previous year.
You know who probably Elon Musk is on that list? He better be
of the scammers.
Yep, because he's scamming.
Let's see.
Yeah, he's scamming. I bet you his number.
Yeah, he's scamming.
Yeah, he making these calls that don't work. He's scamming. He getting these government contracts, can't complete the job. They hired him to do something to cut all these, and he did nothing. You know what I'm scamming. Did you add his number in there?
Let's see if he's a part of the 1.3 trillion. They said most victims never recover their money. Only 4% of losses are reclaimed, highlighting the urgent need for better consumer protections and stronger fiscal recovery. So the most common types of scams. You ready?
Yep.
Shopping scams, fake online stores, and deceptive listings that never deliver the product. So they selling stuff, but they never send it to you.
So, all right, I think so. I done got caught, got right.
Okay,
a few times
with shopping scams.
So, okay, actually, I just ordered some, but when I'm unsure, I go through PayPal.
That's what PayPal give you some protection.
Yeah, they do, because I can dispute my charges with PayPal.
Okay, but if you're going directly through their site,
sometimes you
through your bank. So okay, I see what you're saying. So when you get to the checkout spot, you can either use your card or you can use PayPal.
Right.
You use PayPal, and
I use PayPal because then I call it like, hey, I never received the product. PayPal is usually pretty good with that, right?
Okay, gotcha.
Now I done got when I was in Arizona, I was trying to get my hair braided, and I'm on this website on there like. And I understand people.
So you're booking in Arizona.
I'm booking in Arizona. They say they need a deposit for. Okay, fine.
Makes sense. Yes, sir.
All right, and then I needed it done early, so she had all the rules. So I sent her.
I heard different reactions to the rules.
So and I don't like rules. Like if you have a whole lot of rules, I'm not the customer.
You're not gonna book.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
No.
But okay, digress. No. So
I sent her and was ready, and she was supposed to send me the address as soon as I made the deposit, right? So boom, boom, boom. After she got the money, she completely like blocked me.
Everything go black. Yeah.
Everything go black. So then I go into the group that I was in because it was like this Arizona, because I was working in Arizona. So like I'm in there like little group chat, like Facebook thing. And when I put the picture up there and say like, hey, like this person scammed me, anybody know? Boom, 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 boom. They blocked me. So they were a part.
They were a part of the scam. The group chat that referred you to the scammer was a part of the scam too.
Yes. So they got me.
Okay.
All right.
Wow. So then there's also investment scams, high return promises through fake crypto or real estate schemes is another one of the most common types. Phone and SMS scams, so calls and texts pressuring you for your info or for your money, pretending to be from trusted institutions is another one. Social media and messaging scams, so fake profiles or messages from quote friends asking for money.
That's how I lost my Instagram.
from a friend asking for money?
Well, not asking me to vote, and they like took over, but I don't know. They that's how I lost my Instagram.
So it said vote for one of your friends.
Yeah, like vote for me.
I just got one of those from a friend.
Don't do it.
I didn't, and I be wanting people to win too, but
don't do it.
And I usually do it. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, don't do it.
But just something in me this time said, chill.
Don't do it.
I'm gonna call.
Yeah, that's the first thing.
I'm gonna call and see if it's legit.
It ain't.
Okay. But when you vote, now it take your information.
Because somebody is cloning your information. So whatever they got, they can take over. So don't do it.
Okay.
Don't do it.
And then identity theft, it says phishing emails and fake customer service calls that steal your personal info. And then the too good to be true offers, fake prizes or lottery winnings that demand upfront
the money.
Fees.
Yeah, like if I'm winning something, why I gotta pay for it?
Yeah.
That don't even make no sense. You finna give me $1 million.
Take it out of what I win.
Yeah. If you finna give me $1 million, why I gotta send you $49.99?
That's right. Just send me $1 million minus $49.99.
Right. So no. Somebody tried to get my checking account one time.
Okay.
They went and did a check. They deposited a check in my account and then tried to take it out. Or they deposited it, but it bounced. It was a fake check.
Okay.
And so I think what they were thinking of doing, they were going to go in there and just take the money out.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't. And then when I looked at it, I'm like, yo, hold on. What y'all doing? Like, this ain't. And so when
what you doing was that when you saw the deposit come in, or
I didn't. So the deposit, I didn't even see the deposit because the bank put a hold on it.
Okay. Gotcha.
But then what the bank did when they realized it was fraud, they took the money out of my account.
So
y'all they never gave it to me, and now you want to take it from me. So now I'm calling the fraud department and telling them, but now they think that I'm with the okie doke.
Okay.
Right?
Like you trying to you're a part of the fraud too?
Right.
Okay.
So the person on the phone say, you know what? Thank you, Mrs. Horsley. We're gonna shut down your account permanently and mail you your money.
Okay.
And I'm like, no, I need my account. Like, what do you mean? Luckily, I have a relationship because my banker, you know.
Banker. Yeah. Okay.
So my banker, and this ain't even
that's important though.
That ain't even Herman. This is another white guy in Tampa before I even started banking with Herman.
Okay, gotcha.
Right. And I go over there to him and like, yo, they're like trying to shut my account down, but it's way over there, like in Daytona, somewhere, Smear the Beach, somewhere over there that I ain't never heard of. Right?
Smear the Beach.
Right. And I'm like, yo, so my banker is like, hey, she in Tampa.
Right.
Like she banking. I was like, there's
so
no way
she could. So you had an advocate.
So he went and changed it. Other than that, they would have shut down my. So if note to people, get to know the people that's at the bank.
Yes. Yeah. Establish and have a relationship with your banker. So it's telling you ways to avoid it too. So the report also notes that generative AI is making a lot of these scams even more believable. Scammers can now mimic real voices, faces, and messages that will trick you. So how to avoid being scammed? Verify before you act. Always double check independently. Call the official numbers or visit the websites directly. Look for red flags. Urgency, requests for sensitive information, or payments in strange forms like gift cards. They want you to send them a gift card? Probably not. Use security tools, so antivirus software, strong passwords, and two-factor authentication can help protect you. Guard your info. Don't overshare on social media and shred sensitive paperwork. Then also you can report and share. So report scams to local and federal agency and then warn others. And bottom line, if something feels rushed, if it's too good to be true, or if it's just off, slow down and verify and trust your gut.
Have you ever got like? Cause see, like I call. Be careful. Like I'm so
skeptical.
I Google Spectrum to go pay my cable bill one day, and my mama worked for Spectrum, and this is why I'm high alert, right?
Okay.
So I call somebody, pick up the phone. Now I know Spectrum has a song that comes on like when it first comes.
Okay, the whole music.
Right. But this didn't have a whole music, and they tell me like their system is down. They need to fix it. So I call them. I said, And because I'm like, run the credit card on file. And it was like, oh, because the system is down, we don't have the credit card. So I started to give them the credit card to pay my bill. Then I thought about it. Right. I was like, let me call you back.
Yeah.
And then I looked at the number and I'm like, oh, wait, this. And I called the other number. I'm like, y'all sister. No, actually, I called my mom. I said, Mom, y'all sister down?
Look, but you know your banker, you know somebody work the spectrum.
And she's like, no. So then I called another
because you know when we work at these jobs, we be praying for the system to go down. So, system down, won't he do it?
Right. And she was like, well, once your card is on file, we never ask you for your number again.
Okay.
Like, you know, that's just nothing we do. Like, and you, so I end up paying for it regularly, like how, and then I called the person back and I'm like, hey, your system's still down? Yes. I'm like, yes.
It's not real. I know that this is wow. No, but I pay attention to the signs and the flags. Like I'm skeptical with information that I give. Like if I go to a site and if it seems
too good to be true.
Yeah, I've been on, like, the streets taught me that. And so it's just knowing that, like, you got to, do your due diligence. Like, I'll go to official websites, emails, you get these emails from links. I was getting stuff from the post office. They was trying to get me through there, like your package has not been able to be delivered. Click
I ain't even nothing from, like, I don't, so no.
So but that kind of stuff. So,
and then you get the DMV thing, like, pay it. Like, why they texting me?
I get the ones that try to get you, like, when you own businesses, and so they'll email you saying that your business is you need to be renewed. Nope, that's not it.
All right.
Yeah. Worth a shot, but I look, it's not that. And so, like when you need to renew your business and you need to do your annual reports for your business and they send you those emails.
They'll get you. And then there's not.
And they charging you like
$200
to do something that you can do yourself.
That takes 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, but these are people who, like, are novice.
Scam to me, but
it is a scam. But somebody feel like they're late because I am one of the people that will pay for services.
I will.
Now I am, but I just don't see a need for that service.
Yeah, like to pay you $250 to do something that I can do myself
for 2 seconds.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. But what happens is you read through it and it sounds so official, like you have to use them.
Yeah.
The tolls, I got the thing from the toll, saying that I owe a old toll. I didn't pay.
They're gonna email. Yeah. They're gonna mail that out to you.
Yeah, I get that. And then I got the Sun Pass when I was going to Tampa back and forth every day, and so like I have a whole account. So like I prepay tolls.
Yeah.
So it was like, y'all tripping. I know I owe no tolls because
just be careful out there. They're getting more savvy.
They are. AI is helping it, seem more real.
Whenever, and they calling from numbers like that looks like home. But once you hear that, like if I hear that, and you hear whatever that sound is,
that pause, and then they say, "Hello, Qiana," right? Yeah.
Oh, like,
spam likely.
Can you hear me?
Do you answer spam likely or
never?
Never answer spam
likely.
Never.
Ever.
Have you ever answered? Never answer.
I have.
Put it in the chat, y'all. I can't see it, but put it in the chat. Do you pick up for spam likely? And if so, was it actually a spam or was it just a thought?
I never. No, if they say spam likely, you spam
the likelihood. You consider it spam. Spam likely is just like spam.
And then they're even more savvy now. Is that they'll call back to back because they know that you call, I'm gonna ignore you.
That was a great like flag. Whoever thought of saying spam likely and including that as a part of the caller ID, man, shout out to y'all. I appreciate that.
And I mean, these people are real savvy. Like I say, they'll call you back to back because you be like, oh, it's something serious if they call back to back.
Yeah,
like it's somebody for real.
Okay, yeah, they blowing me up
because usually it's an automated system that's calling these numbers.
Okay,
and so like if you don't get it, it goes back in the queue and it has to follow through. Wow. Whatever, but now they're saying no, call it back again.
I remember I was like an early adopter of a lot of that technology, so I worked in a call center. That was really.
Did you work at Mortgage Investors?
I didn't, but
I worked at Mortgage. I did.
Yeah, I worked at National Business and Digital. We was out there in Clearwater, and I was there maybe like 13 years. So different roles, positions, you know how they call center. So I did everything. I ended up basically, before I left, I was like the call center manager, project manager. Like I did all kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because the owner was just all over the place, and we had a good relationship. So he was like, I need help with this.
Yeah.
And then he would write a job description. We negotiate the pay, and now I'm the quality control manager.
Thank you.
So, like I'm the this, so I'm the like.
Yeah.
It was crazy. But I value that relationship. I learned a lot from. Shout out to David Giorgione if y'all know him, if he's listening. But I learned a lot from him. I call him a millionaire mentor. But yeah, so anyway, the technology at the time, like when they first started using the automated dialers, like I remember when, you know, before we was doing hand dials, and then we created this auto dialer process, and then started using the robo dial and then the robo calls. And so I just saw in those 13 years how the technology just evolved and it grew. You know what I'm saying, over time.
And they get your grandparents. I look at L.A. Keys saying he had to tell his grandparents, do not give no information over the phone.
Yes.
Thank
you.
Yeah, because they'll get you.
Oh yeah, they will, and especially with that urgency, because they created
and they created like, oh, your grandson, like we need it, or whatever. I don't understand.
So
But
tell me more about that. Yubi says sometimes he answers the spam likely and let the kids talk to him. I wonder what that is. Tiffany says never answer spam likely. Yeah,
that's funny.
I ain't got
Let them waste their time like they wasting yours.
Yes, pretty much. Thank you for the stars, Dan. I appreciate that, man. Good look. Definitely appreciate the support. So the Catalyst is, speaking of Dan and stars, the Catalyst is doing the 2-year anniversary, right? Congratulations.
Is it 2? It seemed like summer.
Is it 2 years, Dan? Put it in the chat. So they got, I think it's the 2-year anniversary.
It just seemed like they've been here longer than that. Don't it? Like, it seemed like 3 to me.
I kind of feel like it, but
I could be wrong. But
I was at the ribbon cutting, and
we was at the ribbon cutting.
Maybe like 2 years ago.
Okay, that could be true.
Might have been 23.
But they're doing an amazing job.
Yeah, they are.
And they have cleaned up a lot, like all the bad publicity.
Yeah, but that was like flashes in the pan, though.
Right.
Like, you know, that get more press and that get more traction
than what they're really doing.
Yeah, so I wonder if this cleanup that they're doing this weekend is going to be viral. Like, you're going to make a viral moment of them actually organizing and cleaning up the area. Yeah.
They really, really, really should. Just like I think that
2 years, Dan said.
Okay, see, yeah, it seemed like y'all been there 3, but
all the stuff they went through.
but they got jobs, they got people that hang out, like they're offering a good service.
Yeah, absolutely. Living up to the name of Catalyst, because the energy and the things that they brought to that area. I mean,
they wanted to be the anchor.
You started to see that.
I
think they have a partnership now. I saw announced with Heavies, and so Heavies is going to be open later. So that they're expanding and they, you know, moving things around. So it's just good stuff, man, to see that what's happening. Miss Pina, I'm literally sitting in this future on the phones, experiencing all the BS. Doubt y'all speaking of, and I get it. Humans are still on the phones. Yeah,
it is. But see, it's hard for the humans that's on the phone because you got the AIs, right?
Yeah.
And then it's hard for you to be like, for me to listen to, like, I don't even give you like a second. Okay. Like, even if I pick up the phone and you're a real human, I like literally hang. If
it take a minute for you to get there,
no, it don't.
You don't entertain those.
No, I do not.
So you don't think that there's a wonderful opportunity on the other end of that phone that you might be missing out on if you don't take that call?
I'm not that person. I might be, and then I might miss out on it. Like, you have to get me because
Wow.
Yeah. Like, as soon as you say, "Hey, this Qiana," and I don't know, like, it's real rare
that you're entertaining.
And
have you ever like got a phone call from somebody you wasn't expecting and there was an opportunity that changed your life?
I don't know.
Like, it was something like really good. Like, you got this call and you was like, man, I'm glad I answered that call. Because if I wouldn't have took that call, then this thing that I did.
Got calls like that. Yeah. Maybe like there were important calls.
Yeah.
And let me say, it's not that because I still have to pick up calls because I handle people doctor's appointments and stuff like that too.
Yeah. And so when But I mean, it's not a spam likely. Like you don't pick up a spam likely.
I don't pick up a spam
call
likely
before spam likely that wasn't called spam likely, and you just answered it. And when you answer it,
like
they make a pitch that is like, you know what? Yeah, you got my attention. I really want to hear more about this. Have you ever gotten one of those?
I will. So this is why I don't pick up the calls, because like I'll listen and then my mind will go to the benefits and go back and forth and like how I can use it.
Okay.
So now I don't do it because I'm the one that probably will buy.
Okay. If you listen long enough.
If I listen, sometimes I used to be, not no more. Like I'm one of the people like, just tell me what you want me to do, and then I'm either gonna give you a yes or no. I don't need to be sold.
Okay.
Like, don't give me your sob story.
Don't follow the whole script. Like you don't have to follow the script with
not because I'm either gonna do it or I'm not.
Okay.
Now that's 100. Like even
just get to the point.
When people call me and they want me, I'm like, skip out all the middles. What you want from me?
Good, James. So y'all talk to me. If you're doing outbound calls, tell me what your outbound call scripts are like these days, and what kind of results you're getting. Because there's still people that's making outbound calls. We were actually making calls this weekend for the neighborhood association. A lot of not answers, but like
we put when you look at
we writing scripts and we doing outreach saying, hey, you live in the neighborhood, this neighborhood association.
It's
Remember
really
me?
When you look at it, it's really hard when you're doing like those text messages, the outbound call. Like there is a percentage of people that
especially if it's cold calls, right?
Yeah. But yeah.
All right. So Dan says
we're 3 minutes away.
Dan says, I believe we have 150 volunteers signed up for this cleanup.
That's amazing.
Wow. That is amazing, man. And so that'll be this weekend. We can talk about it more on Friday, get you the information. We'll also share it on the page.
If y'all want to come in and talk about it Dan.
Yeah, you got an open invitation, man. You, JB, Jeff, anybody want to come through. Well, if you just want to give us a call, let us know what's happening. You're welcome to do that. Yubi says, because sometimes they will flag the number as a minor's number and you will receive less calls. Okay, that's why you let the children talk to them.
Oh, that's smart.
That's the cheat code. I appreciate that. Marche, was good. Good to see you. Thank you for tapping in. So yeah, scams. They said $1.03 trillion. So
I wish I was a scammer sometime.
Remember what we talked about earlier? Doing the work is easier than trying to not do it.
I know.
And so the scam life, as appealing as it may
and
look, it's hard work and
it's not consistent.
and it's so stressful.
So okay, so here we go.
I value my peace and my freedom.
No, I really do, but I'm finna tell you the difference is like this generation of the scammers and I'm gonna say like the drug dealers.
Okay.
Let's say.
Okay, but so I guess that's why I'm where I'm at.
Here we go. So like, look, the drug dealers.
Contrary to popular belief,
back then it's hard work, but drug dealers had cash.
Yeah.
That they can give out. They had something. Scammers don't have that. You got to get somebody credit cards. You have nothing tangible.
Okay.
So you always have to look for the next big scam.
I think that's what they. Oh yeah, that's right. No, but I think that's what that's why they call them cons, because it's confidence. They appealing to your confidence in them to be able to do whatever it is that they say they're going to do. And if you don't have confidence, then it don't work.
I want to get Marche Brown, and she with taxes.
Okay.
She needs to come on in and sit down and talk about it.
Especially some strategies around what you do with all of these cuts, because you're hearing about thes government cuts to taxes and the impact that it's having on people's 401k. That's why we said we're going to have Royce with wealth care, because I was having a conversation with somebody also. And they were saying with, just with the tariffs and the conversations around the economy, when they looked at their 401 and their retirement, it's starting to take some hits. And so, that plan that you had for that retirement fund, when you see it decreasing.
Marche says she's ready. Let's do
anytime.
it.
Stay ready. You ain't got to do it.
Yeah.
And so, so it's a lot going on with the economy, a lot going on financially. And so we're going to have a contribution from those who are in that industry. And we appreciate it.
It's 9 o'clock.
It is already, just like that.
We didn't even get to ask Qiana. I guess we catch y'all Friday.
It's good. I ain't had one
because your computer died.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm like riffing. All right. So thank y'all again for tuning in. We really appreciate the support, man. I know we don't have a whole lot of time, but I do want to say thank you. If I don't say it enough, because what we do here is hard. It's hard to get up and be consistent in doing this, but you all make it easier with your support. So thank you for the stars. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the shares. And thank you for your engagement. We really appreciate it.
Yes. Be the change you want to be. Stay tuned for Sister to You.
Make you lose your shoes and shout all around the house.
All right.
We out. It's been the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. I'm your brother John.
And this is Qiana.
Believe and do good.
Mm-hmm.